Carrie Butler, Executive Director of TARC. Thank you to Mayor Fisher, Louisville Forward, Jeff O'Brien, and all of you for joining me for this exciting announcement. I'd also like to recognize our TARC Board of Directors for their role in and leadership for TARC. I'm pleased to share that TARC has been awarded $7.4 million of a competitive grant to purchase zero-emission buses and charging infrastructure that will fully electrify a corridor connecting multiple minority and low-income neighborhoods with employment centers. The Federal Transit Administration's fiscal year 2022 low or no emission bus and bus facilities grant enables TARC to purchase 6 extended range battery electric vehicles, upgrade its existing electrical service, and install the necessary charging infrastructure. The award also makes a significant investment in workforce development around fleet electrification, with $500,000 in funds allocated for training new and current mechanics to service electric buses and charging equipment. I want to thank Mayor Fisher for endorsing this grant. We were also supported by Representative John Yarmouth, Michael Hirsch, Chair of the Zero Emissions Bus Resource Alliance, Sadiqa Reynolds, outgoing President of the Louisville Urban League, and Rachel Hamilton, Director of the Louisville Metro Air Pollution Control District. Deploying battery electric buses in place of fossil fuel vehicles will reduce energy consumption and harmful emissions, including greenhouse gases and particulates. Battery electric buses are more efficient and consume less energy per mile than buses that use other common propulsion technologies such as gas, diesel, or compressed natural gas. With funding from the Federal Transit Administration, TARC will be able to add the needed additional electric capacity as well as the infrastructure required to charge up to 20 battery electric buses. That will put TARC well along the path to reducing emissions overall, and especially along those routes that serve the historically disadvantaged neighborhoods where health outcomes are much worse for our community than as a whole. The Low-No Grant Program is a critical part of providing clean and reliable transportation for the more than 41,000 daily passengers in the Louisville region. As part of TARC's strategic goal to convert the entire fixed-route fleet to zero-emission vehicles, this project will support the region's sustainability and greenhouse emission reduction goals. A move towards zero emissions buses for TARC supports better air quality, environmental justice, and social equity for the community. Now I'd like to welcome Mayor Fisher to share a few words. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody, on this exciting news that's come to the city. It's been a really interesting time to be in government, local government in particular, with all of the investments that the federal government is making post-pandemic. We're still kind of in the pandemic, but it's really helping so many aspects of our cities and cities all around the country as well. So I want to say congratulations to the entire TARC team here. This is an exciting announcement for the many riders in our city and our region who depend on TARC, and for our economy and for the overall health of our entire community as well. So this announcement is a win for multiple constituencies. We all know the fleet of our country is going to electrification, so our transit authority should be amongst those leaders. And these new battery electric buses will help to reduce the amount of air pollution in our area and improve the quality of air that we all breathe. And I think that's something that everybody can agree on. This project aligns directly with President Joe Biden's priorities that we share in our city as well. Reduce greenhouse gas emissions, advance environmental justice, and create good-paying union jobs. This news dovetails perfectly also with the announcement that was made last week where Louisville is receiving a separate $20.5 million in federal RAISE grants to fund 2 other transportation projects that are integral to the revitalization of West Louisville and the continued growth of the city's downtown and edge neighborhoods. One of my priorities when I became mayor was to begin investment in a big way in the west end of Louisville because frankly it had not been done for decades, which is a shame. So we've been able to steer about $1.5 billion into West Louisville. These announcements last week with the RAISE grants are a critical part of seeing that whole vision come true. Specifically, they are a $15.5 million implementation grant to fund the design, finalization, and construction of the reimagined 9th Street project. For too long, we've heard 9th Street referred to as a divide. It should be a bridge. It should be a unifier. So the physical appearance of that street needs to represent that. And that's one of the things that this grant will accomplish. Separately, we received a $5 million planning grant to fund design work for a project called Broadway All the Way, which will make the project shovel-ready. So we've had the design work done. Now you've got to have the construction documents, and then when federal grant opportunities come along for shovel-ready projects, we're going to be ready on Broadway. So as I said last week, both these projects are part of a larger strategy to reinvigorate West Louisville, which is already seeing an unprecedented amount of investment, as I mentioned, $1.5 billion, and they're going to have ripple effects across our community, including an improved transportation experience for everyone who travels these major corridors. The competitive grant to TARC that we're announcing today, paired with the RAISE grants, will further advance our sustainability efforts and our work implementing the strategies and goals described in the Move Louisville plan, which we completed in about year 3 of my administration. We wanted a 20-year plan focused on multimodal movement around the city, and that's what Move Louisville does. And it focuses on modernizing our transportation infrastructure, improving connectivity across our city, and better supporting all modes of transit. So I want to thank the entire hard-working team. I want to thank the ATU for being here. Obviously, we're in the midst of contract negotiations, and I hope that gets settled in an amicable way. But the ATU is representative of many of our good unions in the public sector here in our city. And of course, they do much of the hard work of TARC, so I want to thank them, the drivers, the mechanics, the planners, the entire team, obviously our administration, Carrie, the TARC board. There's a lot going on with TARC in terms of regular TARC service, TARC 3, keeping our buses running, safety, training, going to have new training on the electric buses. So most people don't recognize how complicated this organization is, but it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of hard work from a lot of people to make this happen. I want to thank our partners also for helping us get this grant. This was a competitive grant. We're facing off against other cities across the country. So I want to thank partners like the Louisville Urban League, and then the Air Pollution Control District obviously stepped up in a significant way and are very pleased by these electric buses and their impact on air quality. I want to thank also everybody at the local, state, and federal levels who've shown their support and recognition of this important need. Our Congressman, John Yarmouth, who's retiring at the end of this year, is over the budget, is the budget chair with the House. So it's been great to see him elevate in such an important position. He's been really supportive of all of our projects here at the city level. And by helping to get TARC to this point, everybody here, our partners, have all made a significant investment in the largest transit agency in Kentucky, but also obviously in our community here. So I look forward to seeing the new TARC buses rolling through our region to support more economic opportunities, better air quality, environmental justice, better environmental and sustainability practice for our entire community. So this is a great grant that really helps our cities in many, many different ways. So thanks everybody for making it happen.